Hi Leo. This reading is for anyone who identifies as or finds themselves terribly interested in a Leo energy at this time. This time being whenever this reading may find you, but also in particular, this is being recorded at the very end of May 2019 and intends to look forward through Gemini season 2019 for Leos. And then Leos, because you're last, and I don't think you're last, I'd like to do something extra for you today and do a second reading that looks ahead throughout the rest of summer for you, actually. Since it is the 30th of May before I was able to get to a reading for you in May, and since you haven't had a reading from me since mid-April. So I'm sure that mid-April reading, since these are predictive and project forward, may have taken a lot of you through the month of May. But we're going to look at Gemini season first, and then we're going to look at the entirety of the rest of the summer 2019 for Leos. Hopefully that makes it up to you a little bit, Leos. And you've got the Queen of Coins and the Nine of Fire. So the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Earth here, and then the Nine of Spears, Rods, Wands, Fire, Earth and Fire, Earth crossed with Fire. So Leos, a lot of you may be very focused on an earth energy, a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus at this time, with the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Earth there makes me think a mature, feminine earth energy is on your mind. That could be you. Maybe some earth energy in your own chart is standing out to you, speaking up really loudly at this time. You're starting to just learn about a particular part of your chart, perhaps. It could also just represent you in that you are feeling a little insecure about something, maybe specifically funds, maybe specifically money. And Leos, I do intend to show you these cards. I'm going to put the camera down on the cards and flip the reading around to face you. We'll pull some clarifiers with them facing you. This is the Game of Thrones tarot deck, and we'll use the Radiant Rider-Waite, I think, for your clarifiers. Information about those decks and all decks that I use in Lunartics Tarot readings can be found in the information box down below, as always, along with, at the very bottom of the description box, you'll see a link to a playlist that includes all of the free music that you hear me taking advantage of and using in these readings too. So that's also something to look for. I do get questions about that sometimes. In the meantime, while I've been chattering at you, Leos, you've had the Seven of Earth fall out, the Six of Fire fall out. So it is all Earth and Fire energy so far in the root of the situation, the past, more recent past, and what you're dealing with presently. Page of Swords, Page of Air, Queen of Fire, of Spears, Rods, Wands, and the outcome, which I feel like is definitely your energy, Leos. But it could also be Aries, Sagittarius. Of course, you know, when air energy shows up, that's Libra, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. So we've got almost all of those energies on the table. I wouldn't get too hung up on these signs anyway, Leos. Four of Fire, Four of Wands in reverse here. As a piece of advice, the Ten of Cups, Chalices, Water in reverse as a piece of advice. So I think whether or not it's you who's actually feeling insecure, it seems like the reading is warning you that there is a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak, around you in your home life, your family life, your close circle. There's someone pretending to be someone they're not, and it may be this earth energy who seems, like I said, insecure, Yeah, feeling anxious, feeling insecure, maybe acting out because of that. Again, mature, feminine, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, likely, or just someone who embodies those earthly qualities, since we definitely don't want to get hung up on those signs. I guess I'm getting one more piece of advice for you in this reading, because I'm still shuffling. So one more, and then I'll probably let you go ahead and look at the cards with me while I draw clarifiers, and then after this reading, we'll move ahead to your the rest of summer 2019 reading, your little bonus apology, I guess. It's the Knight of Spears now, also in reverse. So this may have been a situation where, maybe a situation where someone has been in and out of the picture. And that could be the warning that they are going to exit quickly again. If they've been in and out, I'd say the advice is warning you that they're going to keep doing that. It's going to happen again, and that is probably your wolf in sheep's clothing here. Someone who's acting like they want to be part of the family, part of the home life, part of the picture, right? And then they're really just going to be out as quick as they were in, as they have been before. And I mean to say that. I wouldn't assume that unless it is a passionate personality, a fast, intense personality, maybe Aries, Sag, or Leo like yourself, but certainly someone who embodies those energies, that very fast, intense, passionate energy, and someone who's already been doing the in and out thing to you in your life. If that's been the case, then I think it's going to continue to be the case. I can't fight that. And this is about options and possibly confusion is the overall energy of the reading. You know, if we were just going to get one card to try to sum this message up, that's what I feel like I'd be looking at here on the bottom of the deck. And your advice is also speaking about noticing what's unstable, what's not comfortable, what's not happy in your home life, in your home and family life. I think it's probably this person who's feeling anxious and insecure and has been in and out of your life and is pretending to be something that they're not. Now, that's my first read through of what we're looking at. Some of you are trying to rescue them, trying to offer them some type of help. And it may be you, because I normally don't read this first querent card as the person you're dealing with, the person who's on your mind and in your heart. But it's just really coming through strongly in this case, in this reading this time, that very well may be somebody that you're so fixated on that they are covering you, meaning their energy is overwhelming you. Yeah, consumed by it is the right way to say it, is a good way to say it. But it could be that this energy of them being unstable and in and out of your life and not honest about who they are or what they want to contribute to your home and family life is making you feel anxious and insecure. There may be also some financial issues, and maybe that's related to their instability, their inconsistency, their tendency to take off, take flight, just leave. And it may be because they're not who they say they are, but with the Ten of Cups there in reverse, it may just be because y'all just don't have shared emotional fulfillment. You just don't want the same things. Yeah. In the recent past, you feel like you've lost a battle, so maybe the two of you had it out. Whether it's a romantic partnership or a romantic coupling that we're looking at or not necessarily. It could be a flaky roommate, a friend or relative that you were supposed to be living with, or just sharing space in an intimate setting, to some extent with. Thinking you could rely on them for something and they didn't come through. it's you, Leos, if this is you, the Queen of Earth here in reverse, then really I feel like you're either failing to be creative or failing to be practical, or maybe crafty. Maybe some of you need to be crafty at this time. But that is what creative and practical to me break down to. She is both creative and practical. She's notably both creative and practical. So maybe you're trying to be so creative and you're forgetting the practical aspect of your financial situation, or trying to be very practical and you're forgetting to give love and time and energy to your whatever it is that you truly want to create in the world, Leos. But somebody is looking for help. Like I said, it might be you who's sort of rushing in to help them, this other person who's been in and out of a picture with you, etc. But it may also be you who's looking for help, and maybe from the divine, because with this particular Nine of Spears, I feel like, well, you're either waiting for the worst to happen, looking over your shoulder and seeing if something bad's going to happen, and you're attracting it to you, or you're needing help, but the kind that you can't see coming, that you don't know is coming, that you may not even know to ask for. Someone's going to speak up and be very honest, but in a maybe immature manner here in the near future. I feel like this could be you, Leo, speaking up in the near future and letting someone or multiple people know what your stance is, where you stand, what your truth is. This is someone in the near future wielding a truth that is valid, yes, but that is difficult for them to carry and to wield. They're just not sure how to deliver their truth. Yeah. And so it may come off as even disrespectful because the mode of communication is just simply immature. Maybe you've never talked about this or shared this truth with this particular person or anyone before. But ultimately, by the end of Gemini season 2019, with this Queen of Spears, I see you ruling by the end of the season. I see you in a position of influence, power, but specifically in being influential over people. Feeling vital, feeling beautiful. Feeling in command, and not because anyone's being manipulative, but just the Queen of Fire. She just does. She just has a command over people. She's just naturally social and influential, and it's like a quiet power, really. But there are a lot of opportunities for escapism. A lot of options to consider, a lot of maybe vices to fall into, or fantasy. A lot of possible confusion, some of which could even be self-induced confusion, right? That is standing in your path on the way there, and is making you feel illogical and feel a need to return to some type of structure, some type of traditionalism, some type of rules, some type of maybe spiritual regiment that grounds you. And I think that's a great idea. I think I think you're going to naturally gravitate in that direction if you haven't already. And I think it will really help you suss out your feelings if there is someone on the table who is a wolf in sheep's clothing, who has been in and out of the picture and seems like they may continue to be. getting grounded and in touch with a spiritual routine, or just a routine that keeps your emotions and your mind feeling balanced and healthy and well. That's just for taking care of you, however long or short you need that to be, in the mornings, in the evenings, or throughout the day, whenever you feel called, really, right? It's your body, your mind, your heart, your routine. Some of you may need like some spiritual structure beyond that, beyond just your day in, day out, your relationship with things individually. You may be returning to some type of organized spirituality to sort of ground you here. Because you're not feeling clear mentally. There is confusion. There are lots of options for you, and even more, I think, even more possible distractions, especially during the summer. There are just lots of people, places, vices, substances, shows, sugars, etc. to choose from, to get lost in, to distract yourself with. And I think it's particularly tempting at this point because you do feel like you've had this loss in the recent past. A humbling loss. And it may have been in regards to money. It is something that you've been working on, that you expected to see tangible results in, that's been taking quite a while. You've been in the harvesting period of this project for quite some time, and you've been being patient, and then ultimately, in the recent past, there's a loss. Now, it could be in connection with whatever you've been waiting to see blossom and bloom and see rewards from. And it could be a separate issue, though. Let's flip these cards towards you, draw some clarifiers, and see what's going on with the rest of Gemini season and the summer. Okay, this is what we're looking at, Leos. First of all, let's get a clarifier on that outcome. The Queen of Spears, Wands, Rods. This is the Queen of Fire, so like I said, I think that's your energy, Leos. I really do. I think that's you feeling very much in your skin, feeling comfortable in your skin, and specifically, particularly, the influential just keeps coming through to me. Being able to influence the situation at hand for you now in the way that you want to moving forward. So whether that has to do with your money or your relationship or both, certainly something that's connected to instability within your home life. And certainly, obviously, connected to something you've been waiting for growth in for some time. Something you really invested in. Something you were seeing success in. Something you've been building, waiting on, working on, being patient with, nurturing. Yeah, and here's the Empress as clarification on that Queen of Fire, Wands, Rods, Spears here. Another beautiful, blonde, mature, feminine energy in the outcome of the situation. If that sounds like someone you're interested in seeing in your life, if that's someone who has been in and out, but you're interested in them becoming your divine feminine partner, there are reasons that there hasn't been emotional fulfillment yet, but this could just be flipped upside down because there has been something that's been alienating them and something that's been blocking this energy. So for those of you that resonate with that, with a divine feminine, mature, beautiful blonde here, especially a fiery one, maybe a mother or creator of sorts. If you've been interested in that, becoming a partner or a regular presence in your life, I really see that happening by the end of Gemini season. And in that case, I really see this just as shared emotional fulfillment having just been blocked. And like I said, you or they, this is a Knight of Fire as well, so that could be you as well. But someone here in the situation just felt, you know, alienated, like I said, distant. Like they weren't able to connect with people for some reason. Here's the 9 of Fire showing up a second time. So 9-9 on the table. A lot of you may be heading toward, even if you're not there yet, doing some type of light work, doing some type of work that is related to the divine, to your spirituality. I said that you might have, you may have been thinking about a new spiritual routine, or grounding yourself in your spirituality, expanding it, understanding it better, making it a bigger part of your life in a regular way. Maybe because it's going to be connected to your work, or already is. So I think what may have happened here, Leos, was, since the 9s are showing up twice like this, so whatever you've been waiting on in the root of the situation, what everything else is stemming from, whatever you created and then began to work really hard on and wait patiently for the rewards, the harvest, the fruits of that labor, the blossoms, you were very afraid that something was going to go wrong because you had invested so much time, energy, money in this project. Maybe it was a relationship, whatever it was that all your energy was going into. I do feel like it's something that you feel like you created. But I think you were expecting the worst to happen. And then for some of you that it did. It's exactly where it went. When we expect the worst, we can attract it. And it may have caused a painful ending to this project. Even though you were seeing success in it, I think you may have just been so uncertain of its continued success, so worried and fearful that something was going to come and interfere. And I think something did. Again, may or may not have been actually related to this project, but you had that sense, right, in May, even prior to May, you had that sense that something was coming, something was going to rock the boat, upset the home life, upset your emotional wellness, upset your security, financial or otherwise, awaken some anxiety, and then it did. And it may be that this success is still in progress, but you mentally and emotionally are very distracted because you lost something else, an argument or a fight with somebody, or somebody's presence in your life entirely. And it may have caused you to need to, yes, find reserves of strengths, but also transform. Not just your business, not just your life, your relationships, maybe everything. You just realized, I need a new way of working through these types of situations. And it may, again, for some of you, there's different messages coming through, but for some of you, it may very well be because you're dealing with someone who wasn't worthy of your time. Or this may have just been such a distracting and humbling loss here in the recent past that that has become the reason why you feel like you have to revamp your whole life and find a completely new approach to dealing with yourself, your relationships. Because like I said, for some of you, it's you who's been in and out and feeling flighty and feeling disconnected, and you notice that. You know, like, I need to work on how I deal with those relationships and those connections, because I obviously do feel a soulmate-like bond with someone, again, whether it's romantic or not, because I can't quit thinking about it. I'm obsessed with what's happened in the recent past. I'm obsessed with this battle, with this fight that I feel like I've lost or has led to a loss for me in some way, right? Let's get one clarifier on the Queen of Coins. So be careful that you're not repeating the cycle then, Leos, because we've got that same 9 of fire twice here. If you've just attracted some type of battle and loss into your life, a fight with a loved one or a loss in terms of your business, your money, either or, we see the potential for you to do this again. To continue to worry about insecurity, to continue to feel anxious, to continue to obsess over the recent past and the fact that you feel like you can't protect yourself in some way, can't protect your boundaries from this person we're talking about, or can't protect your security, your income, your wealth, your resources. You just may feel like things are going out as quickly as they're coming in. You're not able to hold on to something that's very valuable for you. And by fixating on that lack and that need and that worry and that fear, you can, just like you did in the root of the situation, attract another experience that proves you right, that gives you what you're asking for, basically. It's like a buildup of energy that has to be released. Your focus, our mind and heart, that's a lot of energy to have a focus from our mind and our heart on one thing, on one person, on one fear, right? One expectation, whether it's negative or positive. And we revolve all that energy around it. It swirls and swirls and swirls around like a tornado, and it has to pop. It has to be released. It's a buildup of energy, which we know goes somewhere. It's not going to just disappear, you know, and we can get real crafty and transmute it, transform it into something else when we feel that we've got that buildup swirling. But it's going somewhere. It's amounting to something. So we can choose a direction for it to amount to, or if we just allow it to keep being fear and worry and doubt and insecurity and anxiety, it's gonna, that balloon, that buildup, that tornado, it's gonna pop, it's gonna burst. It's this buildup of energy that is gonna be released, and the multiverse is going to give you what you've been focusing on if you don't make a choice about what you want to transmute that energy into. If you don't decide to direct it in a positive, healthy activity, and an area of your life, to use it, to force it into being something helpful for you, then the way in which it will be released is that you'll get exactly what you've been thinking about. Maybe specifically, but maybe just in general, you know, like I said, some other new type of battle and loss will come about. It just seems to be the way that it works for most of us. It just does. That we can't say, oh, it's always something, or, oh, I just know it's going to happen that way. I just know, I'm just worried it's going to happen that way. I know, but we've got to make sure, and I know, but we've got to make sure that we don't do this because then that, instead of, we should try to do it this way. That seems like it'll work out most positive. Instead of presenting solutions and positive directions that we can go, if we keep focusing on the fear angle, the fear perspective of it, meaning, you know, like what I was just trying to spit out there, we better not do this. We better not let this happen, rather than what should we do? If we keep doing that, for most of us, that's just the way it shakes out. It's just what happens. We get exactly what we're fearing, or something that fits the bill, right? It might be a vague fear of loss and insecurity, and it can be, I think it can be tricky for some of us, because I think sometimes, like I said at the beginning, we feel like, oh, I just sensed that coming, right? I just knew that was coming. Okay, yeah, but at a certain point, and maybe that's why you're needing to visit your spiritual beliefs on this matter. Do you believe you're a co-creator in your multiverse? And maybe that's where you're going. You're feeling some confusion about that type of thing, and so you are going to seek a spiritual teacher, some spiritual advice, a new spiritual path, or seek to, as we said at the beginning, just sort of ground by getting back into a spiritual routine and regimen that works for you, that is very informative for you and intensifies your personal connection to Source and Gaia and nature. And I don't know why I don't hit that home for people more. I'm going to start doing that now, because that's what I know to be real, and what grounds and connects me and allows me to do this work for you. And yet sometimes I shy away from peddling pantheism, right? God isn't nature to everybody. Everybody has their own beliefs, and I love that tapestry. So maybe that's one reason why I try not to push those pantheistic points of view at you. But it's my channel, and it's me channeling, so I think I'm going to allow myself to do that more. I'm really glad that just came through. But yeah, whatever your spiritual routine is, whether it's connected to nature and, like I said, Source and Gaia for you or not, I think it can really appease this confusion. I think that's a great direction for you to go to ease this, like, mental confusion, mental unwellness in a sense, because you're seeking clarity so hard, and because there is this insecurity that showed up first. The insecurity and a lack of boundaries, which is exactly how somebody who is a wolf in sheep's clothing, likes to be in and out of the picture, feels flighty and unstable, makes your home and or family life unstable. That's exactly how they can get in and stay in. It is if we don't have our boundaries properly protected. That's a reason that you might feel insecure and anxious and think that you're just receiving a sign to protect yourself. If you feel like you're receiving a sign from the divine, or the way people are treating you, or just the synchronicity in the multiverse at large, whatever, if you feel like you're receiving a sign that you need to be anxious, worried, fearful, very protective of your funds, your home, yourself, then it's because your boundaries aren't protected. It's because you're not coating yourself in a white light every day, feeling that, sensing and knowing that connection to the earth, to nature, to whatever grounds you, whatever is your anchor in your spiritual life, or the divine, the chaos, what, you know. I love that routine of bathing in not just a white light, but that's a good place to start. My affirmations protect me, my prayers protect me, and it's not that you can't expand on that, right? But just very simply put, just to pray and affirm and or say mantras, and above all else, showing gratitude. I feel like it has such a protective energy. Connecting with the fact that you are love embodied and are connected to everything through that. Going ahead and checking out, if you're into astrology as well, the ins and outs of having where your Venus placement is, because as love embodied, the way that we love ends up really affecting everything. The way that we're perceived, the way that we communicate, the way that we take action, the way that we, everything else is then affected by the way we love, because we are love embodied. Connecting to all of those ideas and inspecting myself, and then showing gratitude, even if just in one statement out loud every day, for the fact that I'm able to do that research and to inspect myself, all of the above, all of that, and thanking those that I feel do protect me, my angels, my ancestors, etc., etc. All of that makes me feel protected. And then if you know, and it depends, if you want to get crafty, if you're missing your craft, if your spirituality has a great deal to do with your magic, with some type of spell work, so to speak, perhaps that's what it's saying. Protect your boundaries by getting back into those spiritual crafts. Perhaps some of you want to take it beyond prayers, and maybe you want to do spell work, you know, blood magic, sigil magic, putting totems up around your house. But that's what it is. If you're feeling insecure and anxious and like you need to be worried about securing the security of your shit, basically. Again, whether we're talking money, home, relationships, it's not an indication to focus on where you think the problem is. Try to find who you think the enemy is. Keep watching over your shoulder. Keep your head on a swivel. It is an indication to protect your boundaries. Feel so secure in your own personal protection that it doesn't matter where the threat is coming from. You're ready for it. And so then you don't have to set in that fearful energy all the time. That is what it is for some people. Get crafty to protect your boundaries. And I'm not advising you to get into any type of spirituality or any type of magical practice that scares you or, you know, that you just don't vibe with, that you don't feel connected to already. If that was already in your mind and your heart as you came to this reading, then that could absolutely be what it's nudging you toward. If there are practices in your past that you've let go of, but you've been thinking, maybe I need to do that again to protect myself. Good idea. Great idea. Seems like an indication on the table for that, absolutely. But beyond that, yeah, I'm not trying to encourage you toward any type of practice that you're not comfortable with or that you aren't interested in, really. I think, you know, if it was for you, if it was meant for you, if it was going to be helpful for you, vibe with what you need, it would be something you wanted to do. Don't force yourself into anything you don't want to do. If anything, that's maybe been the problem thus far. I know a lot of different messages have come out here, but we're headed toward this divine feminine, this beautiful, vital, divine feminine energy regardless. If that's who you've been dealing with, then maybe you're one of the lucky ones here who are, like I said, the Ten of Cups energy is just blocked. They've been flighty, they've been alienated, this home's been insecure, but y'all are going to address it. And by the end of Gemini season, it looks like they've really come into their own and are able to be the partner you need. Or if it's been you, that you come into your own and are able to be the creator you need to be, or the nurturer you need to be, the divine feminine counterpart perhaps. But this can also be males capitalizing on their feminine, influential, creative energy, for sure. I just want one more clarifier, and then we're going to go ahead and skip to your summer 2019. Two more clarifiers. And then we're going to go ahead and skip to your summer 2019 reading. Since we've already gone through Gemini season, it will take us through Cancer and your season, Leo. And it will make this recording a bit too long, but I hope y'all like it. What's too long, right? Some of you may be dealing with a Scorpio. I know we've named all the signs at this point. Don't get too hung up on it. But we were just talking about that death card. Needing to totally revamp the way you live, the way you practice your spirituality, the way you relate to someone or people in your life in general. Needing to completely transform and revamp that in order to feel secure, in order to feel protected. Because you're needing help from someone that you're not getting it from. Either the divine is helping and you're not seeing it, and it's not, the communication isn't coming through, or it's a person in your life that we've been talking about, the in and out one, the wolf in sheep's clothing, the unstable one, and they're not going to show up and give you that help you need. But one or the other or both is catalyzing you into a completely new form. And again, one that can really own, really be inside of this beautiful, vital, feminine energy that can really embody that. But for some, you want to partner that. I just want one more clarifier on the Page of Swords, and then at 40 minutes in, we're going to that second reading. I want to see a little more specifically what this truth is that's being shared in the near future. I think, you know, for some of you it is. You're going to be honest with this divine feminine energy, or this beautiful, vital, nurturing, creative energy. You talk about how the instability has made you feel, how their behavior has led to confusing you, the new path maybe that you're on now to get your mind right because of everything the two of you have been through. You're going to speak to them about this flighty, anxious, unavailable behavior, maybe suspicious behavior. It's on a spectrum, these messages, so it's a little different for everybody, but for a lot of you, that's what it is. You're going to speak up and let them know. And that's either going to put you in your divine feminine power, or give them the strength that they need, the motivation, the ultimatum that they need to step up and be who you've been waiting on them to be. Like I said, I really see that, especially for those who are... Yeah, and it's going to cause a fight. Like I said, when you speak up with this undeniable truth, with this fresh perspective, this honesty that you have to share, again, it will be valid, but it may seem immature because you don't know how to communicate this truth. You've never communicated with them this way before, maybe. And it may cause a fight. There may be a battle. So in the near future, as you move through Gemini season, expect there to be some turmoil. Yes, you should speak up with your truth, and I don't need to tell you that. The cards are saying you are going to. Whether it's fully matured or not, because you may need to practice saying these types of things to get good at it. And, you know, if it's something that's hard to say, uncomfortable to say, because you guys have already had a battle, you're already having issues in a relationship, romantic or not, then it may just be a matter of the two of you don't communicate the same way, or saying that type of thing to somebody is always going to sound a little bit disrespectful and immature. It's just a hard message to deliver. But so many truths are, right? Hard to deliver, but necessary to deliver. And I think it will. I think it'll cause a fight at first, and I think you can expect that through Gemini season. Some resistance, some lashback, some tempers even flaring. This is a verbal battle, I believe, here that results in sharing this truth. And for a lot of you too, probably post-relationship, like if it was a romantic relationship, it looks like if it's going to come back together, it's going to be something brand new because it's dying. They're not showing up for you. They're not giving you the help that you need. And it looks like that kills it. That kills the connection. And so if it's going to come back in, it's going to be because these people are brand new people. This connection has a brand new life. They've decided to have a brand new way toward and about each other and their relationship. And it's hard because for those of you who resonate with the message in that way, it's like it died while you were waiting on them to show up. It died because you were waiting on them to come through and they just didn't. But it needed to die. Like I said, you needed a transformation to deal with your insecurity, whether financial or otherwise. Some of you are coming into your own through this process, realizing that you are the creator of the project that you've been waiting on to see flourish from the beginning, from the root of the situation, what all this is stemming from. You've been the person who was going to harvest the rewards, but some part of you hasn't acknowledged, like, wow, I'm the creator of this. And you just step into that power and the power of that knowledge by the end of Gemini season. But it still is certainly very much through being totally honest with someone who has needed to hear your truth in regards to this work, for some, this relationship, definitely the instability that it introduces into your home and or family life. Whether it's a relationship with a partner or with a a project, a work of yours, either way. Either way, that truth is going to be difficult to share. You know what it is. I don't. And it is going to cause a fight. And someone's going to walk away feeling smug. Don't let that be you, right? Someone's going to walk away feeling like they've won. You'll probably walk away feeling like the situation is dead again, over again. But that doesn't mean you haven't transformed from the last death already, right? You're someone new to battle with at that point. You're someone new to walk away from or have this fight with. And wait for it. I want to say wait for it, because by the end of Gemini season, somebody's coming into this full divine feminine power and realization of how influential they can be. I would say for very few of you, it's a divine feminine counterpart coming around and realizing that she doesn't want to give you this unstable, flighty energy. And by that time, even if she does, it may be a little too late for you. She's put you in this state of confusion. She may have lied. She or he, again, it could be a nurturing, creative, passionate, vital, beautiful energy who's showing up as a feminine energy, but he is just in his feminine energy, right? But if they've lied or just made you so confused that you're not sure if they have, certainly made you mentally unclear, and put you in a place of wanting to seek spiritual counsel, whether from the divine, a teacher, or yourself, your own routine, it might put you in a space of, like I said, sussing out your feelings versus your emotions is what I was going to get into with this card. Determining whether or not you really feel the way you thought you did about them. So whether they come around or not, some of you may already be by that time in a space of reevaluating them, reconsidering whether they're welcome back in this time. But I overwhelmingly feel like if it's a mature blonde, especially another fire sign, or Cancer or Taurus, a motherly energy, or a divine feminine counterpart energy, if those descriptions fit, and it's this mature blonde, then I really feel like it is a matter of them coming around, coming together. And maybe that's you. Maybe that's you, Leo. Maybe that's you. Because there's no judgment really on this flighty energy. Somebody felt alienated for some reason. Now some, like I said, everything's on a spectrum here. So some are dealing with a wolf in sheep's clothing type of energy. But for others, this is just... this instability and this flightiness may have had to do with their money or your money. May have had to do with maybe your locations, where you live or something. You know, there can be good reasons why a loving partner starts to feel alienated and like they need to take flight. Maybe they've had a lot of emotional or financial turmoil, health turmoil, right? So there can be a lot of reasons why they just need to get to this upright, healthier, happier, flowing, creative state and place where they can, like I said, or you can, where either one of you can be the stability that's lacking from the situation. And if it's not going to be a partner or for a partner, then it's going to be you doing that on your own for yourself, to be a creator in the world, to nurture a project that means a great deal to you, that your emotions and your passion is invested in, that will bring clarity to your mind, a routine to your spiritual life, and stability to your home. Shared emotional fulfillment to your connections. There's this death currently on the way to getting there. And what I think it's feeling like for a lot of you is that you're just waiting for help from someone, waiting for help from the divine, likely for a lot of you, waiting on help, prayers to be answered from them, or help and assistance from someone else. And it's not coming. You just feel, that's the perspective you have on it anyway. You just feel like it's not coming, it's not showing up. And if it's the divine that you're waiting on, it is showing up in the form of giving you an opportunity to focus on doing work you love, and giving you an opportunity to transform, putting you under that pressure and that pain so you'll pop into that diamond, putting you in those situations where you feel like you're waiting for no one so that you answer your prayers, so that you realize when you're at rock bottom and you look to someone for help, the voice that's most readily available to answer is your own. And if you want a deeper spiritual connection and to be in closer contact with the divine, well, then that leads right into the spiritual routine we talked about, right? That leads you right to helping yourself again. They would have then given you the opportunity to answer your own prayers, answer your own questions, help yourself by saying, okay, well, if I want to hear these signs louder, then let me revamp my spiritual routine a good bit. Because you are, with those 2 9s of fire showing up, you are coming to the end of a spiritual journey. It has been a journey that you've been on getting to this point. Absolutely. And you are going to be very close to spirit, able to call on the elements and influence nature in those ways as well by the end of the situation, by the end of Gemini season. So quickly, it's going to have to be quickly now since this one's gone so long, but quickly let's look and see what the rest of summer is like for you. What happens beyond that point? Let's keep going. What happens beyond that point for Leos as we move out of Gemini season into Cancer season and then on to your season, Leos? Where does that energy, that situation go? A lot of you are going to continue to focus on work this summer. Way to go. Me too. I understand. I get it. Keep going. I definitely relate to that portion of your message. I'll go ahead and tell you now while I shuffle up a bit that if you are interested in getting a private reading with me, from me, just scroll down to the description box below where I told you the music and the information on the decks are. You'll find all the information and links that you need there. You can go ahead and order. The link to donate is also there. Or you'll also find my email address, LunarticksTarot@gmail.com, and you're welcome to email me first or after you order to have a conversation about what kind of reading you want. You can tell me which deck and spread if you like to get that specific, but there's absolutely no need to. But some people like to tell me their astrological makeup, ask specific questions, and I do like to note that when your questions are more specific, we can usually get a lot more specific information for you in a private reading. So check that out if you're interested. And perhaps I should take this opportunity to also thank you all for all of your support regardless. I want to especially thank you today for all of the donations recently. It's amazing to all lunatics, but we're in your reading now, Leos, right? So Leos and Leo cross-watchers get that message today. And I try to always say it. I'm so grateful for it. It's truly going to keep Lunartics Tarot going. I love doing what I'm doing. And yeah, just a special thank you to the donations for just seeing what I'm doing and reaching out and, you know, letting me know I'm doing a good job, tipping me for my work even. It means the world to me, especially since I know I don't make it that easy. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a website for you all to go to. So you got to scroll to that description or check out the banner on my page. And so many of you do it for me. Thank you so much. And for emails and messages and comments and shares and subscribes and likes as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Leo. There you are again. That's where we left off, right? That's where we left off. So let's see where we're heading. Toward feeling and being your authentic self, enjoying the hell out of your summer and expressing who you are authentically, which we see the beginning of in Gemini season with that Page of Swords we saw. But still feeling like you're waiting on something. Still feeling like you're looking for help, that you haven't received an answer about, not from someone else. Oh, we've already cut these. Maybe finally reaching a place then after Gemini season. I mean, if we're looking at moving forward, maybe finally reaching a place then where you are ready to ask for the help that you need. Seek that spiritual teacher that might fit for you. Seek that new routine through asking a friend at least what spiritually grounds them. Right? Maybe at this point are ready to ask for the help. Or it will be blatant that you need to in some way. Because this definitely indicates to me that you're feeling healthy, feeling truly happy because you are expressing this childlike, authentic part of yourself and energy from yourself. So like I said, most of you, I don't actually see that divine feminine or masculine, that divine partner that we saw in the outcome of the last situation, possibly a divine partner that we saw coming around. I really do think that's just for a few of you, and here's some proof of that. Most of you will be in a period of mourning a loss. So especially if we were talking about a partner who was in and out in the first reading, it looks like what we saw at the end of it there was you stepping into your power and saying, I'm going to be a creator. I'm going to create the world I want. I'm going to create the abundance I want. And I can't have you coming in and out, making my home and family life unstable while I'm trying to do that. And I feel that vibe, Leos. I get that. I get that. And good for you. Some very few of you, it's going to be what we talked about, the exceptional situation where somebody realizes, but we know how rare that is. Just as people humaning here, right? We realize that's rare. So most of you, it looks like you're going to be in this period of mourning, and I don't sense that it's mourning for too long, because you're going to be feeling like yourself. Feeling authentic, feeling you made the right decision, feeling they weren't the right person to ask for help from, and you know who to ask or how to ask. Another Leo card. Confirmation that this loss is going to be something that makes you feel comfortable in your own skin. There may be some crying, but I don't think we're taking it to the extent of crying over spilt milk. Another duplicate nines again, the moon card, and the outcome of the situation. Four of coins up right now, seven of coins again, and that bottom of the deck is still but is the Queen of Wands now, showing again. So 3 cards resurfacing, 4 cards resurfacing. See, the Strength card is one of your cards, Leo. So I do think this is an indication that you're going to be feeling very much yourself in your own skin as a result of any loss that you endure during Gemini season, or are already enduring currently. We're already in Gemini season, right? But I also just feel like saying that those are your reserves of strength to dip into. And you may not get a lot of credit for that, because nobody's surprised when Leo dips into those reserves of strength, right? You have them. It's evident. No one's surprised when Leo becomes the center of attention. No one's surprised when Leo becomes this influential, powerful, beautiful, vital, attractive, magnetic energy and force to be reckoned with. A lot of people may just kind of shrug at you being in the spotlight, you being the center of attention, you being as beautiful as you truly are, and at the process of you realizing it, right? A lot of people may just say, oh yeah, we knew you'd get right over that loss, that breakup, that failure, whatever it was. And they may not even say it, right? So it might be, that's some of what's coming through, is that you may notice people acting like you should have been doing that all along. People acting like they're not surprised to see it from you. That's who you are, right? You may catch some of that a little bit, Leos. Maybe even some pride and jealousy, because you went through your battle. You went through your insecurity and your anxiousness. You by this point, you're going to have gone through your loss. You know, you've already been going through some mourning. You've gone through needing to completely let some way, or maybe lots of ways of yours and in your life die. A relationship, a way of making money, and or a way of grounding yourself spiritually, or all the above. You will have gone through your major loss and battles for the summer. You will have already, that will be in your past at this point, looking at Cancer and Leo season. You would just be, you know, ready to thrive and very much deserving it. But that's, you know, that's not going to be for all of the zodiac. That's not going to be for all of the energies around you. And so you may see some people just shrugging their shoulders and not acknowledging your accomplishment because we expect this of you. But you may see some people who are even, you know, jealous of the spotlight, of the glory, of the beauty. There are a lot of people, Leos, around you that feel like they couldn't possess that glory and beauty, that vitality, that magnetism, that social ease and demeanor, even if they were at their best, even if they were rich and at their healthiest and looking fly. There's people, you give them the impression sometimes that they just couldn't encompass the beauty that you've got going on, no matter what they did. And when they feel that way, it's true, right? And I don't mean to speak to Leos as a collective as much as I mean to speak to you at this time as individuals. We all possess a particular unique beauty and energy that is all our own. You couldn't be me if you tried. You know, you couldn't. And I couldn't be you if I tried. So those things may sneak up on people that you even want to think the best of, simply because there is a kernel of truth there. There's a reason why we cling to that idea. It's true. We couldn't be one another if we tried. But why would we want to, becomes the question. And so in that, you know for sure that any issue of jealousy or pride or even lashing out at you that might occur in this space and time, you know for sure that that is about them. That's about their relationship with them. Just like essentially the battles you've been through boiled down to being essentially about you. Becoming more of who you authentically are, owning your power. So just try to shrug and feel bad for them that they're going through that time, because it's going to be around you a little bit. There's too much strength and beauty and vitality and energy and youthfulness, and it's too gorgeous for there to not be some people who hold a grudge almost because their summer isn't going as easy. But Leos, from the readings I've been doing, you have been going through it since last October. Like, we're coming up on a good year of intense, deeply intense and emotional readings I've been doing for Leos. Which is another reason I wanted to give you a little bit extra, because I've just been connecting with you so hard for almost a year now. And then to skip a month or half a month like that, it just felt funny. But yeah, you deserve this. You deserve to, you've worked for it. You don't just deserve it. You've worked for it. You've gone through the pains of reaching this level of authenticity, reaching this moment where you can just express as your whole self. And that whole self is magnetic and beautiful and vital. And those are your best qualities, and they're not everybody's best qualities. But they're yours, and you have earned the right to shine fully. Let them show. I want one clarifier on the 9 of Spears again, on the 9 of Fire there, the 9 of Rods or Wands. It's not, because I almost feel like you don't need help. But the message to continue to protect your boundaries is still on the table. So let's be mindful of that, right? Because there will be jealous energies around you. There will be prideful, competitive energies around you. The fact that you're in the spotlight and shining as yourself, owning your full power. You know, from your toes to the tip of your head, from your beauty to your forcefulness, all of it. There will be people noticing, and people aren't always good. Just depends where you're at. Where, you know, they're not always in a healthy place, I should say. But so continue to protect your boundaries. Just because the mourning period ends, just because the battles are over, just because you're feeling like you're thriving, you are. And you've probably at that point done the work we talked about to protect your boundaries. Great. Keep doing it. Don't stop doing it. Now it's easier to do it. Now you feel the need less. But don't stop doing it. That may be the only reason why you're still feeling that need to ask for help from somebody. Maybe it's you again. And again, no judgment. I mean, you've had a lot going on for a year. You've had a lot going on just in these 2 readings. So it's just a matter of being distracted and overwhelmed and emotional. And just remember, once you start feeling better, don't stop helping yourself. Don't stop protecting the boundaries. So a mental or verbal battle, again, that's the 5th card that has re-shown for us. Maybe a Virgo in the picture by mid to late summer for some of you. If it was a Virgo who was in and out in this first reading, talking about Gemini season, the first reading we did, could be letting that person back in. That could be why we're seeing this message to continue to protect your boundaries. But also, while you do that, to continue to be patient with your work. Where you felt like things were taking too long in April and May for your coin, for your money, for your progress on some fruitful project that you're very invested in, right? You start to see in Cancer and Leo season real success. But that last stretch of work, even if you're at the last stretch of work in securing this spiritual journey, securing your spiritual beliefs or routine for the moment, and securing the amount of income you need or progress you want to see in your business or relationships, you are seeing success. Success actually technically is that last stretch of work, and I'm sure we've talked about that lots of times, Leo. So you're not quite at the stage where you have your feet up and you're relaxing and enjoying and reaping all the rewards, but you are seeing the succeeding taking place. You're watching yourself succeed. You can be focused entirely on that. And I think you will be. All your cards came up right this time. I think you will be. Don't forget to protect your boundaries. Don't forget to make time to connect with your inner wisdom. What you know to be true, what you're coming to believe to be true, what you're feeling to be true. And so there'll be a lot of activity, a lot of warmth, a lot of attention, a lot of events, a lot of, again, magnetism of your own. But just remember, this Queen of Wands that you're embodying, that is that magnetic personality, she's in charge. She's the life of the party. She's under the spotlight. She's influencing the nature around her, including the elements and the people. She can call on them. That's something else. So you might want to call on for protection, Leos. She can call on the elements, and she can call on influencing people. Again, it's not manipulative. They're naturally magnetized to her and want to do and give what she wants. And so, if you need to say, I haven't meditated today, so the party doesn't start until I'm done with this, then it won't. You know? Yours won't, at least. If you need to say, I've been working and running all week, I've barely had time for meditating and tuning into myself, I need to take a whole night off tonight, guys. Sorry. in Cancer or Leo season. Do that. Protect your boundaries. Connect with your inner wisdom. Make sure you're the one helping yourself in some way, shape, or form still. Because I think that with 2 5s here, this is still going to be a time of change and potentially struggle. Leos, I think you, even though you're a fixed sign, can flow right through that. You've had a lot of practice over the last matter of months, like I was saying. I think you can carry the weight of this continued mourning gracefully. And if you continue to remember to protect your boundaries and tune into that inner wisdom, that inner guide, what's feeling right for you, what's feeling healthy for you, then I think you can navigate those changes without a lot of struggle. I feel like most of Cancer season is going to be about self-love. Or at least by the time you're coming out of Cancer season, you're realizing that, you know, the time being fluid, it's going to be slightly different timelines for everybody, but I'm just trying to look at this whole thing as Cancer, Leo season here. We'll get one clarifier on the moon card as well, just to expand on you where I think your season ends up a little bit, Leos. Yeah, I think a lot of Cancer season and even moving out of it is going to be about self-love. It's going to be about enjoying that spotlight, enjoying that authenticity, enjoying feeling comfortable in your own skin and feeling, like I said, you're the life of the party. Everybody wants your attention, your energy, feels magnetized to you, wants to please you. Or, you know, a lot of energies around you anyway, right? And see if you don't, there's potential here for you to continue to battle yourself about the exact same thing, about the fact that you feel like you're waiting on something, waiting on someone, or waiting on help from someone. And for a lot of you, it is this waiting on a connection with the divine to come through. If you're still entertaining this person who's been in and out, that's going to end shortly. Cancer, Leo season likely. That's what I see there. Interesting. 2 10s now. Yeah, a little bit of a mental battle continues, maybe verbal, but certainly mental battle continues about the fact that you are waiting on something, waiting for help from someone that you don't feel like you're getting. And I just really feel like it's, like I said, if you don't battle yourself about that and instead just allow yourself to be the Godhead, allow yourself to be the voice that's at the bottom of the barrel when you're scraping for help or movement forward, or results, and answer your own prayers in terms of continuing to protect your boundaries, protect your finances if need be, protect who's coming into your home, who's coming into your energy in general, who may be intentionally slighting you once there's jealousy and pride to be considered when people see you really thriving throughout the summer. Then you can just flow right into this space of allowing your own wishes to come true. With the 9 of Cups here, this can be a wish fulfillment card. It's certainly a card about self-love to me, feeling emotionally fulfilled on your own. So it's another indication that that person who's been in and out, if they are still around, they will be leaving shortly. And in that, feeling emotionally satisfied on your own, comfortable in your own skin, like you can be thriving at full force, but still well aware of how to connect to your inner wisdom and protect your boundaries on your own with your own spiritual work, your own prayers, your own beliefs. In that, you do come finally to the end of that spiritual journey that we were talking about you being on and moving through during Gemini season. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a weight that you have to carry all by yourself because they're your spiritual beliefs. But it does lead you to a victory and the ability to power forward toward the rest of your goals without allowing anything to stop you. And that's that force, again, that we were talking about, people not being surprised to see you have. Some people will try to tear you down, but nobody's surprised you have that power. And that's exactly the attitude that'll try to tear you down, Leo, is the one who's like, why do you deserve it? Why should you get everything? That type of energy is exactly the type of person who will try to tear you down. It's exactly the type of person who will try to waste your time with mental battles and try to get you to be concerned about the fact that they feel like they won a mental battle and that they're feeling smug. All of that can distract you from helping yourself, protecting your boundaries. That is one way that you can let your boundaries down. You start engaging in these verbal mental battles with somebody who's really just trying to waste your time because they're jealous. That in itself is not protecting your boundaries. Now your energy, your time, your words, your focus, your heart is going out to this annoying energy who is literally just trying to waste your time or argue about something that you've been done arguing about for a while. As you're just at the end of a journey that is difficult to finish, and you have to do it on your own for yourself with your beliefs in mind, the ones that only you could shape for yourself and the ones that only you can protect for yourself, because they're who you are. So it's your decision and it's your work and it's your job and it's your journey and yours alone. And we aren't alone, depending on your beliefs and your connection to the divine. But like I said, there are moments when we're scraping the bottom of the barrel and we have to be the person who's there for us. And the only other person, it seems like, that's going to be readily available in that moment, or the only other type of person that's going to be readily available, is the one who might be jealous, trying to fight about old things, trying to distract you from completing a journey that's going to make you even more powerful, even more of your authentic self. That's going to show you evolving and developing and ascending even more, even further. You know, and for these smug, petty energies, you know, again, it could just be hard for them to see you developing and evolving so much, and you're going to get so far away from them and so far out of reach in terms of what they can accomplish. Those aren't your worries. That's going to be about them. That's a mental battle that you need to let them have by themselves. Because the second you start engaging in that stuff, when your inner wisdom would tell you that that is not your fight, that it's not your circus, the second you start engaging anyway, you're giving your energy to them. And that really does. It starts to break those boundaries down, even if you've built them really strong. Because it's you using your free will to choose to interact and engage with them, to choose to lower yourself to their vibration in order to have some kind of communication, let alone a fight, right? So if you're going to use your free will to make that choice, then the divine can't keep your boundaries up for you. Even if you have, angels, guardians protecting you, they can't interfere with you choosing to use your free will to lower your vibration to connect with somebody. That's a choice you're making. So those boundaries come down, and then you might say, well, why weren't you protecting me? Why weren't you protecting you? The divine, whatever anchors you, has given us all the abilities to protect ourselves, has given us all the indications that we should, and a lot of tidbits about how, right? But we have to do that work. And I don't think that I'm lecturing a lot of Leos, because you've got the Sun card here, you've got 3 cards representing you here. It looks beautiful. So your only real pitfall going through Cancer and Leo season, your season that's showing up here, is other people trying to tear that down and distract you from the self-love, which is what is going to make your dreams, your wish come true. Now, by the end of your season, There is a painful ending to a negative cycle, and all is not what it seems. All is not what it seems because something is actually an ending to a negative cycle. So again, if that in and out energy is still around, things are done definitely by the end of Leo season. I think these cycles ending are one and the same. Like I said, that spiritual journey, coming to this realization of who you are, where your power resides, and likely for a lot of you, what you want your spiritual routine to reflect and look like, as well as what you want the stability in your home and or family life to reflect and look like. All of that coming to a culmination may be so burdensome that it feels very painful. It may be very, very hard to make those changes, to come to this conclusion that certain energies, certain practices, certain people, certain places, habits have to be let go of, have to be, you have to say goodbye to them, basically, because they're jealous, prideful, argumentative, trying to distract you with pettiness all the time, negativity all the time. Or worse than that, right? Again, everything on a spectrum, or something even worse. It may seem like it's very painful and very burdensome, but I think that's why we're seeing that all is not what it seems. Because in point of fact, if you had continued on with those habits, those patterns, those people, those practices, those places, you would have been continuing a negative cycle, which would be us seeing this for me. But it's done now, and it may not, every aspect of getting there may not feel awesome. You may be surprised by who these people are that are petty and jealous and argumentative, that have to be let go of. Possibly, because we did see the death card in this very space in the Gemini season. So it may be a matter of you begin to let go of those things, you begin to shed those old ways, and you don't realize yet who all or what all is connected to those old ways, right? As a very cliche, shallow example, if in Gemini season you say, I'm not going to drink anymore, certainly not going to go to the bar all the time, not going to drink that much, then in Cancer and Leo season, when you're thriving because of that, you may see the pettiness and jealousy of friends who don't want you to leave that scene coming out, and realize, oh shoot, losing those old ways and habits means I'm going to lose a few of you too, because you're not being supportive, you're not helping me move forward. My evolution comes first. Does your evolution come first? I think for a lot of you, you're going to find out that it does, which I love to see. Thank you for doing that work. I'll say personally, thank you for doing that work, Leos. But fear not when toward the end of summer it comes down to painful endings. It feels painful because the cycle that you were in with those habits, patterns, people, places were painful. So it's actually not what it seems, and it's a beautiful thing that those things are coming to an end, as this reading must. We are running right out of space. I love you, Leos. I hope you make wise choices for yourselves moving forward. Please don't feel boxed in or determined by anything that we've talked about on the table today. And yeah, I will let you go at that. Again, I love you, and I will post another reading for you as soon as I can.